Blacksburg, Virginia, the North American heavyweight champion, Bob Roop. And in the blue corner, also at 252 pounds, from Omaha, Nebraska, former North American heavyweight champion, Ted DiBiase.
Bob Roop introduced now, shedding his jacket, and also the introduction of Ted DiBiase. By the way, Bill will be my guest commentator here on Mid-South Wrestling next week.
Ted DiBiase is a great one. He's a good spokesman for wrestling. He's a great athlete, and you can see he's a determined man. He's champing at the bit. And Bob Roop, I think understandably, is a little bit cautious there because Bob Roop almost knows that he has stolen that title. There's no doubt in his mind. You know, Paul Orndorff was never able to beat DiBiase, and neither was Roop. And yet through this subterfuge, Roop in on a single leg, went for a fireman's carry, switched off to a single leg with DiBiase pulling him up. Hip heist, hip lock, hip heist, and right into a arm bar, and DiBiase showing that he's still got that form that made him the North American champion. Of course, Bob Roop is a wanted man. Paul Orndorff wants him, and Paul Orndorff will be back here in 2 weeks. Paul Orndorff says, served notice to DiBiase that he's going to lift the North American title from from Bob Roop before DiBiase has the chance. That could sure throw that title situation into a rough, tough three-way picture. You know, everywhere I travel, it's really a pleasure to get to talk to the fans and wrestling fans, and of course even the people at the television stations. I was just in Oklahoma City, Channel 34, and one of the production men stopped me there, and they said, "We're really so glad that Mid-South Wrestling is now on the air here. It's the most quality wrestling show that we've ever viewed, and the athletes are great, and we really enjoy it." Now, I tell you, it makes my heart really feel good to be a part of it, and to see Grizzly Smith book such great matches right here on TV. This main event right here would be a main event at any arena. It's right here on television. Again, my hat's off to Grizzly Smith, and of course I'll echo your congratulations to Charlie Lay of Tampa, Florida, in his new duties as president of Mid-South. I think it's the most progressive organization in wrestling, and it's constantly enlarging its horizons and bringing matches to all the top cities that the fans are turning out in record numbers. Hammerlock. DiBiase, a determined man. Roop's got to be wondering right now. Bob Roop is a master of strategy. The credentials are there. We can't go over them. They're a matter of record. A national AAU champion from Southern Illinois University, Pan American Game champion, Olympian, good in Greco-Roman, good in freestyle, and is professional. Whether you like him or not, he's a formidable man. Great move by DiBiase, unorthodox move. Roop starting with an arm whip. DiBiase change of pace in the direction, dropped down, arm snapped him back, and now you see him pounding that hammerlock with those knee lifts. Oh, Roop goes up on that shoulder to try to get some of that pressure off that hammerlock. In amateur, you can't take the hammerlock past the 45. In pro, you can go all the way up with it. Bob Roop's trying to stick that hand back to block, and DiBiase into a reverse half Nelson. Well, Bob Roop didn't learn that in his collegiate or his amateur days of going to the hair, but it's effective. Wherever your head goes, your body's going to go, and he got out of the hold. And in pro, you got 4 seconds to break an illegal hold. But Bob Roop is really backpedaling there, and that arm is starting to bother him as DiBiase keeps up the attack, a methodical attack for a man so emotional over what's happened to him, which may be very, very smart. You think that DiBiase would be so mad that he'd go out there and maybe get carried away to a scattergun situation, but he's very, very methodical about what he's doing. He wants to beat Bob Roop. He knows he has to beat him in a non-title match, or Roop will refuse to meet him in a title match. And Bob Roop also, to show you how high the stakes are, knows if he can beat DiBiase here, or to just keep DiBiase from beating him, that he won't have to grant him that title match. A pursued man, Bob Roop, by both DiBiase and Paul Orndorff. Orndorff, his former partner, the man that Roop would design it, but Orndorff would execute it. Step over toe hold, puts the pressure on the joint, on the knee joint. That's putting it sideways against its natural leverage or the hinge of the joint of the knee. That can be really painful, and that's on that right leg that was injured. So Bob Roop knows that coming back off of stretched ligaments, if he can re-injure that knee, it's certainly a point to attack. DiBiase into a wrist lock, step over, going for a key lock. Noise coming up. Break the eyes by Roop, break DiBiase off. Introduces him to that turnbuckle. That'll bring you to a sudden stop. Makes Whiplash seem like just a game. Roop firing away now. Chopping into the neck and trapezius area of DiBiase with a wrist-tight forearm. Very punishing. Crowd solidly behind Ted DiBiase. Reverse neck breaker by Bob Roop. Roop's bringing out all stops, trying to put away the former champion. Rake off the eyes, kick with the bottom of the foot. That's legal, but it's, as you notice, that's right over the lung area. Takes a lot of the oxygen out of you. Single leg by Roop. He's got the single leg up. DiBiase firing back. An unorthodox, unbalanced position to be able to fire, but DiBiase managed to break him loose of it. Roop double leg dive, but Roop's backing out of the ring. He's going to take DiBiase, trying to re-injure that knee. He snaps it over the apron. DiBiase writhing in pain, that knee. Now Orndorff's going to the ring post. He was going to try to wrap that knee around the ring post as the one-man gang helped him do that title battle. DiBiase got away, but Orndorff's quickly in. Going for the figure four leg lock. DiBiase rolls over. Kicks free, kicked free. And DiBiase firing away. I think DiBiase's ready to throw caution to the winds because he knows that the methodical approach with Roop, that he's so knowledgeable that he's going to injure that knee. Reverse elbow, DiBiase. DiBiase's sensing victory, Boyd Pierce. I think DiBiase wants a total victory, a physical breakthrough, a total dominance. Power slam! Cradle move, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
DiBiase wins it. Look at DiBiase. There's a man that's full of emotion. He's just come over the biggest hurdle of coming back off an injury in a non-title victory over the North American champion. The man who won the title from him, Boyd Pierce. That's so important because you got to wonder down deep with that injury. How much would it hold you back? There's Roop up, and Roop's challenging him again. DiBiase says, all right, let's just... He's got Roop's own shoulder breaker on him. He put Bob Roop's shoulder breaker to him, counting down himself over, no doubt.
Holding with one hand, counting with the other.
That's right. Bob Roop knows not only was he beat 1, 2, 3, he was beat physically, mentally, totally beat by Ted DiBiase.
And wrestling fans, in just a few moments, you'll hear the sound of the Marine Corps hymn, and as the strains of the halls of Montezuma fills the air, it'll signify the appearance of Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch and General Skandar Akbar had better beware.